Well, good morning, and good morning to you, and all of yours out there today. This is another great day and another great opportunity for us to come together and to discuss some of the things that, Mental Real Estate only has to offer. Today's another great opportunity for us to talk about the things that seem to just move around in our mentality. Help us to grow a little bit more so that we can know a little bit more, just a little bit more. So, before I even get started, I got to ask the infamous question. I can't never start without just asking the question that matters so much. How was your weekend? Did you spend time with somebody that you love? Did you spend time with somebody that loved you back? Did you give the energy to somebody that needed it? Did you help somebody learn a little bit more about themselves as your weekend was going on? Because you know what? This is a special time because it's Labor Day weekend. Not only the fact that it's Labor Day weekend, but we get an opportunity to come together to discuss some of these things that, we seem to be challenged with on a daily basis. This is not just an opportunity for us to come together. This is a great opportunity for us to learn together, to grow together, to share together, because we get a chance to do more every single day than we've ever done before. And today is no different. So before I continue on, I got to ask you, how was your weekend? How was the opportunity to connect with others? Make sure that you do what's best and what's necessary for you, because today is no different. The Monday Mental Real Estate Perspective in helping you understand who you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it, because the perspective is understanding the positive and negative contributors to your mindset. And what does that mean for you? Absolutely everything. And today I can't cheat you to beat you. It's another great opportunity for us to talk. So let's get right to it. Life applications that we love so much. Talking and discussing more about these life applications, guys. Where are we at on today? On this life application, helping you understand that today is what? Y'all already know, I've said it many times. We're talking about Labor Day. Oh my gosh. And all of the things that goes into it, but talking about the work, that goes into Labor Day. Man, let me help you understand about this life application, because oh my God, it's about to get real. Growing up in those days, listen, I grew up with a military father, and the military father, oh my God, if you've ever grown up military, you know it's a different level of structure. It's not just any type of structure when you grow up under the direction of military leadership. Military is something different. I don't know what it is now, but let me tell you, back in the 70s and the 80s, it was a whole different ball game and a whole different ballpark, because I know we was knocking it out every time. Now, here's what me and my brothers had to do. Man, oh my God. Talk about work. Let me tell you. Here's what we had to do. We had to wake up in the morning. Now, that's what everybody did. You wake up in the morning. What do? You get up, what? Go brush your teeth. Make sure that you get yourself dressed, get yourself prepared for school. Now, this is the standard. You would get up, get dressed, make sure you got yourself ready for school. And then if you had time, you might get something to eat on your way out the door, or you might go to school and eat breakfast. But they didn't have that back in my day. So that was our standard day, right? Okay, thank you, Mama, for teaching me how to do those things. But now, let me help you understand what we had to do. When we grew up, we had to make sure that we got up in the morning. We had to make sure that we cooked breakfast. We cooked our own breakfast. We had to clean the house. No, not the kitchen. We had to clean the house, take the trash out, sweep the garage, make sure that everything was done and taken care of. And then we had to make sure that we were prepared for school. And then we had to walk to school. All this starting at 5 a.m. Oh my goodness. I said all of this starting at what? 5 a.m. That's right. I said it with my whole chest out. This was torture, y'all. Are you kidding me? Who does that at 5 a.m.? Wake up in the morning, make sure you get yourself together, get your shower, get your clothes on. That's normal. Make sure you get prepared for school. That's normal. But oh my gosh, get up, cook your own breakfast, which was my brother usually made us pancakes or a little sausage or something. And then we had to clean the entire kitchen, make sure the whole house was cleaned up. Then make sure that the garage was cleaned out before we even got in the car to leave. No. There was no car before we even got on our feet so we could walk to school, which was usually about a good close to a mile. I want to say about a mile away from home. We had to walk to school. It didn't matter the weather. We had to walk. Now, here's the crazy part about that is that we learned how to work at an early age. Now, we talk about work and we talk about Labor Day. We talk about what goes into the work that really helps set things in motion in your life. But when did you start working? That's funny. When someone comes to you and asks you, when did you start working? You'll start talking about, well, you know what? I remember when I got my first job. I was working before I knew I had a job. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of times in the life that we live, where we start to work is actually the moment we begin to start learning. Because that's funny, because as you're taught, you begin working in the areas that you've been taught, don't you? But you didn't know that. That's funny because I can remember when you was a baby, it was not when you was a baby, but when I was a child and my children were children, I can remember when they were small enough to learn how to walk. Okay, so when they learned how to walk, did they have to work on it? When they learn how to walk and you let them do that, did they have to work at that? That's funny because when you taught a child how to hold a spoon and you had taught them how to feed themselves, did they have to work at it? So at what age did you actually start working? Because we're talking about Labor Day now. This is Labor Day weekend, but at the same time, as we grow and we understand, there were levels in our life that we began working before we even understood what work was. And it was not easy. It was difficult, not understanding that work is so many things. But here's the thing. What we never understood growing up is that work was always a requirement. Now that's funny because we talk about, you see people who don't have a job. They can choose to work. They can choose to work. But what they don't, even the person who chooses not to work doesn't understand that work is a requirement in life. Now, what do you mean by that, Dr. Freeland? Because this is your perspective, helping you gain the knowledge to understand more about this thing in work. But let me give you something, because I got to come with the evidence and results. Check it out. Because work is required in life for survival, personal growth, societal function, and a sense of purpose. While the economic necessity of earning a living is fundamental, work also fulfills deep psychological and social needs that are critical to human well-being. Now listen up. Now, that's funny because when we're talking about survival and well-being, income for basic needs. Check this out. Income for basic needs for the most fundamental level, work provides the money required to purchase food, secure housing, and obtaining clothing. This income is essential for personal financial stability and prosperity. Now, sense of purpose and identity. For many, a career is a major source of identity and meaning. It's a major source of identity and meaning for a career. Listen, for many, a career is a major source of identity and meaning. It offers goals to strive toward and the satisfaction of mastering skills. Engaging in a task and completing it well can boost self-esteem and provide a sense of accomplishment. So that's funny how you can get a job and you can work there for a career, but you seem to be elevated through the years that you've been there. And a lot of times we don't understand, because I can remember people who wanted that job and they wanted that work, but they wanted the quick fix. Let me say this again and make it plain for you. I said they wanted the quick fix, but what did I mean by that? They wanted to come into the job, and I know we've seen many people do that. You've worked the job maybe 10, 15 years, and guess what happens? You see a position come open. And then as that position comes open, somebody applies and they interview for it, and then they get the job, and when they walk in the door, they tell you how much money they make, and oh my it'll change your life, won't it? If you've been there 15 years and somebody else walks in the door and they hand them the same amount of money it took you 15 years to get, you can't tell me that ain't going to change your personality. You can't help me understand that, listen, the work that you put in isn't worth the more that you can understand, because we got people who are coming in jobs now that don't have the level of capacity that we did. But at the same time, does it mean they don't deserve it? I cannot say. But what I am saying, that it is valuable to understand that the years and time of service have elevated you to a place in the work that you do, because this is life. But help you understand more about this thing that we're talking about, psychological health and structure. Check this out. Routine and stability from a job provide a critical framework for mental health. I got to go that one again. Listen to me, guys. Listen clearly. Routine and stability from a job provide a critical framework for mental health. I'm going to stop there for a second, because I've done this work that I've been in now for 20 years. And this job, and I'm talking about my actual physical job I've been doing for 20 years. I'm close to retirement. Thank you very much. I am close to retirement. But at the same time, when you've worked to this level and understanding, you ever see people, now listen, have you ever seen somebody that has actually worked that job and they're the old heads of the job? And you know what? They had well, good, and structured things going on at that job. I mean, without that person, there's aspects of the job that couldn't function normally without them. But here's the thing. Have you ever seen them work to that level of retirement? You hate to see them go, don't you? But at the same time, you wish them well. You want to celebrate them at their retirement parties, and then they go away and they leave the job. Now, here's what's crazy. The thing that I never understood is that when people stay at a job, they stay and work into retirement. By the time they leave, guess what happens? And one thing I don't understand is this. If they don't keep busy, a lot of them deteriorate. I've worked for supervisors that have been here for 30 years. And a lot of them that have left, if they didn't keep busy, if they didn't find something else to occupy their time and something to do, I've had to go to some funerals, y'all. But I've never understood that. But now that I see this, it helps me to understand that routine and stability from a job provide a critical framework. Critical. It didn't say minute. It said a critical framework of for mental health, especially during difficult times. For those with mental health conditions, work can be a stabilizing force. Did you hear me? For those who deal with mental health conditions, it doesn't matter if it's ADD, ADHD. It doesn't matter if it's autism. It doesn't matter what development that you have in your mental health. But for those with mental health conditions, work can be a stabilizing force and a key part of recovery by providing structure and opportunities for social interaction, personal growth, and development. Listen. Work-related challenges push people to develop new skills, solve problems, and become more resilient, and expose individuals to new ideas, different ways of thinking, and diverse people, leading to personal and professional growth. Now, I love this. Now, for the function of society, we got economic foundation. Now, what does that mean? A functioning economy relies on people performing a wide variety of jobs to produce goods and provide services. This is what we all know. This is what we all believe, why we do what we do. This collective effort is what builds and sustains a society. Contribution and community. I'm reading quick because I know I ain't got a lot of time. Contribution and community. Work allows individuals to contribute to the greater good of their community or society. Wow. A person bagging groceries to deliver mail is helping in a larger system that runs smoothly. For many, social connections and camaraderies with co-workers are a major benefit. Now, let me say this again. There's nothing better that contributes to the work than working around people that you love. Now, you can put that one in the feed. Now, is it vital to you to understand not only how to do a job, where your job is, what's required of you of your job, but does it matter to you to be in the midst of other people that can actually get along with you, that you get along with? Because you know what? It's something that I learned about working around people that you didn't get along with. It doesn't last long. Now, there's two things. Here's there's two things I've always said that keep people in a position at any type of work. Two things. One is that you love your job. Two is that you love the relationships that you have in your job. Now, here's the thing. If you work a job that you love, but at the same time, you may not get along with everybody, that's one thing that can sustain you. But if you don't really like your job, but you love the people that you work with because they pull for you every single day, they help you in many ways, it's something about one or two of the others that can help you sustain that job because you have great relationships. Now, relationships is something special because it helps pull you through. This is why I say it matters to do what you love so you can love what you do. Do what you love so you can love what you do. One more time, do what you love so you can love what you do. Because the thing about that is I found myself in a position of not liking that. Here's the thing. You won't last if you don't have either one of those two. If you don't love your job, if you don't get along with the people that you work with, you won't be there long. Because this is work we're talking about. Now, here's the thing. Social status and capital. In many cultures, a person's occupation heavily influences their social status, lifestyle, and social circle. Need I say more? Do you not understand? A lot of time we're around, it's the company that you keep. How many times did your mom and dad tell you when you was growing up, watch the company that you keep? Listen to what I'm saying. They said, what? Watch the company that you keep. I was told that many times. Do you know why I was told that? Because there were people that I was hanging around that didn't necessarily mean any good, but they didn't also see the potential that was within me. But it always takes somebody from the outside to see the potential that is down within you that as a child you're not going to see. As a young adult, you're not going to see. So this is why a lot of times you heard and understood that if mom taught you work ethic, if dad taught you work ethic, they help you understand responsibility and how to share responsibility. They help you understand how to develop, how to grow, to mentally be strong, to never look down on yourself. But a lot of times they'll see you around company that doesn't understand how to keep the same mentality. And the thing is, we're too busy having fun, because that was me. I was so busy having fun. I love running with my boys. I love doing things. I was in the streets. I was doing so many things that may or may not have been actually legal at the time, but I survived. But here's the thing, my grandma and my grandfather used to say, and my mom said, boy, watch the company that you keep. Now, how relevant is that now as I've lived well into my 50s at watching the company that I keep? How did that enable me to be strong enough to continue living this life? Because I learned how to watch the company that I keep. A person's occupation heavily influences their social status, lifestyle, and social circle. A job can grant access to social networks that provide emotional support and open up future opportunities. Now, how many times have you been given an opportunity from the opportunity that you got? Okay, let me slow that down. How many times have you been given an opportunity from the opportunity that you got? Wow. Isn't that funny how we walk into a job thinking that's it? We thinking that I'm going to accelerate at this job and that's going to be it. I came into this position because I want to be the best at this position, and that's it. Because if I can get to the pinnacle of this position, I know I'm going to make good money. I'm going to survive. I'm going to do what it takes. And I know that now I'm going to be in a position of leadership. And in leadership, we don't always understand that leadership also becomes elevation, because in elevation, sometimes you must be reduced to increase. Sometimes we think we just keep increasing and keep increasing. But look at this. You remember when you worked the fast food job? Where'd you go from there? Some of us, I'll tell you my track. I went from the fast food job. I thought I had it going on. I worked hard. But at the same time, I knew that there was something more in my life I wanted. So as I seen something more that I wanted, I went for it. My mama used to tell me all the time, because I didn't have a college education at the time. And my mama said, Mike, listen. And I said, Mama, I like this job. They got it. But they told me that, oh my God, here's a good testimony. They told me that I couldn't get this job because I looked at it. The requirements was a bachelor's degree. The requirements was a master's degree. And at the time I had neither. Now, my mama told me, this is what my mother said to me. She said, listen, if you see something that you want, go for it. Don't turn away from it. Apply for the job. I said, but Mom, there's no way I'm going to be able to get this job because it already tells me that I have to have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. And I didn't have neither. Not even an associate's. I just worked hard. My mama said, go for the job. She said, they can only tell you no. Did you hear that? Y'all don't understand how powerful that is right there. I just said to you. They can only tell you no. Go for what you know. If this is something that you want, son, go after it. The only thing they can tell you is no. So how bad will it hurt? But if you don't go after it, you will think about this thing the rest of your life. It may let you down. So here's what I did. I went for the job. I applied for it, and I sat back and I waited. And you know what? I sat there, and the thing is, they called me for an interview. I was so excited. That's funny. Sometimes people get excited for the job, but listen, I was excited for the opportunity, because a lot of times it's the opportunity that presents what's right in front of you. But you can't get what's in front of you if you're never given an opportunity. So I took the opportunity to go to the interview, and I remember going to the interview, and I sat there, and man, I sold myself good. You hear me? Back then, now, I don't know about y'all now, but back then they told you dress to impress. When you go into any job interview, you better look better than the person that's interviewing you. So yes, I had my suit on. I'm sitting here, and I was clean, y'all. I'm telling you. And I sat down, and I answered every question they gave me. And when it was done, I walked out of there with my head held high. Even if I felt like I was failing to get the position because I didn't meet the qualifications, it wasn't the qualifications that got me there. It's something that we call favor. It had nothing to do with my qualifications, my lack thereof, of my master's or bachelor's degree. At the time, it was called favor. I knew when I went in there, I had favor in my pocket. because I was ushered in the door. But let me tell you something about when you leave. It's not so much about the favor that follows you. When you have an opportunity to be in the place, you better show out. Listen to me. When you get an opportunity, when it comes to this job thing, when it comes to this work that you provide, when you're given an opportunity, you better show out. Because sometimes showing out is the only thing you get. Sometimes showing out is the only opportunity you have at what you really want. So I went home and I talked to Mom. I told Mom, I said, I went for it, Mom, but I don't know what's going to happen. But I'll see, I doubt it. So I went on living my life. And as I went on living my life, I moved from one day to the next. And all of a sudden, one day the phone rang. And I answered it. They said, is this Michael Freed? And I said, yes, I'm here. This is me. Yeah, how can I help you? They said, hey, we're calling from the youth center at Topeka, which is the maximum juvenile correctional facility. We would like to call and offer you the actual position of the assistant cottage director to run your own cottage, which would mean I was second in charge in the whole building at the one that I worked at. I was like, what? All because of favor. So now I had to go into the office and I had to work around the other two people who interviewed for the position that had a master and a bachelor's degree. And guess what? Guess who they had to answer to? Guess who they had to take direction from? Guess who they had to follow the instructions and the leadership of? Come on, man. Don't tell me that when it comes to something called favor, I know I seem to jump ship because I'm talking about the requirements of work in your life. I'm telling you, but the requirement of work is understanding that your position is not dictated by others. Your position is dictated by favor. And when you walk in the thing called favor, it will follow you around. It's going to lead you. That's funny how you sit there and you talking to people that look at you already when they interviewing you. Here's the thing. They interviewing me and they know I don't have those qualifications, but they're going through the process. But in the process, they don't know that the thing that is called favor is actually working on their mentality. It's not about what I'm saying. It's what the thought is that's given to them. It's about the transformation in the perspective of what they thought. When I walked in there, they didn't want me to have it. But when I left there, they knew I was the one for the job. You never know. Let me get this going in, y'all, and I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down. Work-life balance. Work and life balance. Many modern workers focus on maintaining a healthy work-life balance to avoid burnout and stress. The ideal is to prioritize both professional duties and personal well-being, acknowledging that work should consume one's entire life. Work to live or live to work. Your choice. You figure it out. Life-work balance. A newer perspective. Life-work balance suggests that personal well-being should come first. Did you hear that? It suggests personal well-being should come first and that one's career should be shaped around their personal life, not the other way around. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. One more time. Okay. The newest perspective, life-work balance, suggests that personal well-being should come first. And that one's career should be shaped around their personal life, not the other way around. You know what's funny is that we're old enough to remember when it seemed like they wanted to work first. They didn't care about your personal life. I can remember darn near losing a job because I had a sick kid at home and I had to get home to take care of her. I can remember those times when the doctor said, when my supervisor would say, you got to do what? I need to go home real quick. I got to take my kid to the doctor because they're sick. They say, well, hurry up. Y'all remember those days? Isn't it something how time shifts? The perspective shifts, but let me tell you why and help you. Because when it comes to the perspective, everybody has one. That's funny because back then, everybody didn't have a perspective of life. But now that we live in an environment that children, grandchildren become a necessity, all these things before, that's funny because when you work for somebody who did not have kids, wasn't life harder? But if you work with someone who had a family, it seemed a little different, didn't it? When they talk to you with understanding. When someone did, that's funny because a lot of times that's the first question out of your mouth. You got kids? They talking to you like you a child because you trying to take care of your family and you have to ask them, do you have kids? Excuse me. Do you have any children? And if they say no, you're like, yeah, I understand why. But the reality is this, guys. when we're talking about your life and your work balance, make sure you balance the two. My assistant, Ebony Saunders, tells me all the time, if you work hard, you should play hard. They tell me if you put in the service, you owe it to yourself. How much time do you sacrifice for other people in your life, but yet and still you forget about you? We had to work 364 days to get here right now because it's Labor Day. And the only reason we're not working right now is because it's a holiday. And some of you are still working on a holiday that's designed and designated for you for working 364 days. That's what's crazy is that, listen, but I want to build your perspective to know something. Just as you feed yourself on your physical level, on your job, just as you enhance yourself on the work that you do, just as you build your communities, just as you build your position, just as you help rear your children, all of these things that you're doing, don't forget one thing, your mental concept. Don't forget that your mentality needs development too. Your mentality also has work required. Your mentality is required for development because you can't move anywhere without it. Everything you do is predicated on your every thought. Everything that you do, every idea, every development is predicated on your every thought. And if your thought is the one thing that's going to help accelerate you, that's funny because you go to college, but you can't graduate college because you went to class. You graduated college because you developed your mentality. That's what they want to see. That's what you need more than anything. It's not the fact that you attended college and you paid all this money and you showed up to class and they liked you because you went to all the functions. Oh, no. It had everything to do with your mentality and why and how you developed it. So when it comes to the mindset and your mentality, understand this, is that when it comes to what you're doing, it matters. Why does it matter so much? Because you matter. Helping people grow in a way of their mentality is helping them understand that there's work, but there's something that we started working since before we knew. Work is always required. But why is it required for you? Because your development is essential to the way you live your life. If you want an easy life, sit back and relax. Enjoy the ride. If you want a life that's more fulfilling, that's giving you the opportunity to offer something to someone else, go for it. Don't leave anything on the table because you never know what's sitting around the corner. I told myself once upon a time that I couldn't. But my mother, somebody that loved me so much, helped me understand the possibilities of the word could. Because when I understand what I could do, with the opportunities I believe I was presented, I was allowed to do more. But it wasn't the fact that I was sitting in front of people that felt sorry for me. It's not the fact that I was sitting in front of people that I was impressed, that I impressed them so much that they wanted me to have it. It's the one thing that we call favor. And every time that you operate in favor, you got to know you got something better in your pocket than anybody in the room. When you sit and talk to people, you're going to connect with them in a different way. And your way is not exactly what comes out of your mouth. Your way is the favor that's included in your words and your literature, in your language, in your speech, in your opportunity to connect with people is what's going to drive you to the next level in your life. So today, enjoy your Labor Day. Today, rest, relax, and retool and reset. Get ready for another week as you get ready to move forward. Because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. You're going to live this thing, y'all. And your mental real estate is going to go with you. Take it everywhere you go. Develop, because you know that's funny. Some people don't get a day off. But work is a requirement in life. And no matter whether you got today off, you can sit at home. But as long as that mind is thinking, you working. As long as you innovating, you thinking. As long as you creating, you thinking. And as long as you keep thinking, you working within your requirement. God bless you all. Thank you for taking your time for Monday Mental Real Estate. I am yours truly, Dr. Freeland. And I wanted to come on here and shout some people out and let you know, keep doing what you do. Because everybody I see in here is adding something valuable to society. Shannon Mitchell, one particular, always working hard, has been put sustainable work in her agency for years. Continue your hard work. Yolanda Shahid, always at it, always on the grind, always keeping moving forward, and listen, and always supporting Mental Real Estate. Thank you so much, Yolanda Shahid. Oh my gosh, Shalina Brown, my sister, I love you. My goodness, y'all. Y'all know what I mean. Every step of the way, keep developing your mentality, because work is a requirement for every single one of us. I wish we always had the opportunity to just sit back and take off. But even when you're off, it always seems like you got work to do, don't it? Ronnie Tisdale, thank you so much, my dear, for being in here. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with Dr. Michael Freeland and doing what we got to do for mental real estate, because it is a function that makes things memorable. Adrian Rebels, my brother, God bless you. As always, man, you're a great man. A great man, a great wife with a great family. God bless you, brother. I'm pleased to know you all of my life. You've been a great ambassador for everything that we do together. You supported me. I support you. Keep moving, y'all. Listen, here we go. Jana Thompson, what's going on, mother? I see you. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for understanding more about your mental real estate. The development of our mentality is going through a whole lot. But listen, we can't turn it down for nobody. Keep moving in your direction, and let's keep moving forward. Miss Chantel, I see you. Thank you so much for doing what it takes. Thank you so much for developing every day. Thank you so much for growing. Thank you as a person, as a human being, as an individual with a caring heart. Thank you for all that you add, not just to your family, but to your community and society. Keep working, guys, because you know what? It is a requirement in life. And last but not least, my mother, my life's blood, my mama, Brenda Redmond. I love you, mama. God bless you, and I appreciate you for all that you've done for me. Continue, mama, to live your good days. Continue, mama, to live your good days. Because let me tell you, God has blessed you to continue to live in your good days. And the thing is, I know the older we get, the less we want to work. But your work is not physical anymore, mama. Your work is spiritual. Your work is changing lives. Your work is bringing lives in. Your work is helping build perspective for so many people that are hurting and troubled. Mama, keep doing what you do. God is watching, and he's going to continue to bless your hands as you put your work forward. So guys, this is my time. Dr. Freeland, God bless you all, and take care of yourselves on this week. Have a great day and a blessed week, and we'll talk again soon. Take care, guys. Until the next time, Mental Real Estate does it again. Bye-bye. Hey.